you're introducing the electronic euro, as I know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how can switching to an electronic currency help?
Now we have in Europe this threshold. Above 1,000 euros, you cannot pay cash. If you do, you are on the grey market. You take your risk. You get caught, you are fined, or you go in jail. But the digital euro is going to have a limited amount of control. There will be control. You're right. You're completely right. We are considering whether for very small amounts, anything that is around 300, 400 euros, we could have a mechanism where there is zero control. But that could be dangerous. The terrorist attacks on France back 10 years ago were entirely financed by those very small anonymous credit cards that you can recharge in total anonymity. The digital euro is on the move. Yesterday, the Governing Council of the ECB approved the opening of the preparation phase. It will be a journey, and we will walk the journey together with the legislator. All European institutions will be involved to make sure that Europe is equipped with the currency of the future. Cash is here to stay. You will have all options, cash and digital cash. So what does it mean for you? For consumers, it would be free and easy to use everywhere in the euro area. All of that, of course, is subject to the legislative process. Cash or digital, the choice will be yours.
Let me explain how this is going to work. Cash will be phased out. And that process is already underway. It's no longer accepted for payment everywhere, and a previous government tried to ban some cash transactions and even cancel the $100 note. Once everyone is used to a purely digital payment means, they can simply flick a switch to move the monetary system to the blockchain. You will not even notice this until it actually impacts you. Government could theoretically limit your ability to spend your money in any way they want to. And they'd also have total control over your money. Say you get a speeding fine. Why wait for the cheque to go? They can take the cash directly from your account. What if you go to a meeting for the wrong political cause? You could have all your money frozen, for example. Maybe you put something on social media that's deemed unacceptable. Well, it could be more than just your Facebook account that's stopped. A central bank digital currency is the ultimate tool of control. They even want you to have a digital ID. This is kind of like a driver's license for access to the World Wide Web. Are you starting to see a pattern here? Government doesn't really care about you. The politicians care about power, and the bureaucrats behind them, they only care about entrenching that power, no matter who gets elected.
I'm hoping people wake up enough to at least slow it down. Because these people are pushing in a very obvious and very specific direction. They want digital currency, centralized digital currency that they control, and they want to get everybody on a social credit score system. They'll probably connect it to some sort of a vaccine app, or if you want to travel around, all they would need is another pandemic to try to push that shit through. And they're already talking about that. It's very spooky. The whole thing is so scary because it was effective. It was effective and very, very financially effective. I mean, they made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And if they could do something similar again and then clamp down more on people, that's what scares me. This talk of centralized digital currency, that's what they have in China. If you fuck up in China and you get a bad social credit score because you tweeted something they didn't like, now you can't buy a plane ticket. Now you can't buy a car. Yeah. Now you can't get a loan. Now you can't do something. You step the fucking line, and people self-censor because they don't want to be a part of that. Now they got you.
It's always about total control. Always about total control. And you have this individual here, the president of the European Central Bank, Christine Lagarde, right? She admits the fact that the EU's new CBDCs, the digital euro, will be used to impose control. And then she tried to play it off as, oh, there's terrorists, right? We gotta find a way. We has to have control, because without it, the terrorist this and terrorist that. She try to pacify you, but believe you me, they would totally control this stuff, because it is programmable money. It is digital money. And it goes on to say the EU citizens already face imprisonment or fines for engaging in cash transactions above 1,000 euros. It says, but the introduction of the digital euro will facilitate financial totalitarianism on a scale that would make even George Orwell wince. Because that's what it's about. To be able to program this money to where you only be allowed to spend this money here, or how much you will be allowed to spend the money, right? And if you are a dissenter, you will be shut off. Really, it's like the one of the episodes in Black Mirror where they utilize the social credit score system, which is not a fantasy or science fiction. Is already happening in China, right? And China has been propped up as the model to the NWO, the New World Order, so to speak, right? And the social credit score system will be tied into your digital identity, what you do on the internet. So you might as well kiss your freedom of speech goodbye, right? Like it says here, a central bank digital currency is the ultimate tool of control. That's what it is. So now you either just do away with anything that has to do with the government, or you will bend the knee and do what they want, because now they'll break you in, right? To the point where you don't want to be ostracized. You want to be able to go to the mall and buy, what has been allocated to you to buy, right? Because you can't just buy anything. If they say you've used up a lot of the your meat accessibility will be taken away from you. You wouldn't have no access to buy meat if they don't want you to buy meat. You wouldn't have access to go travel if they don't want you to travel, because of your carbon emissions and your carbon footprints. See? And then you won't be able to say anything. Your freedom of speech, you won't be able to utilize that anymore, because if you say anything wrong, guess what? They will shut off this digital money. You won't be able to buy, sell, do anything. You see? So this is where we are headed. You need to be aware of this. This is where we are headed. You even have Joe Rogan concerned about it, right? He even brought up the fact that what is happening in China and things of that nature, right? So you need to know this. And this lady herself, she basically ratted on herself. She told on herself. She let it be known that the CBDCs will have control to it, right? She said it that there will be, even though she tried to glamorize it, right? There will be an aspect of control to this. Believe you me, the whole idea behind this digital money is control. Control. The same thing that the interview Alex Jones had with Aaron Russo, I believe that's his name. He told him it's all about total control, and if you don't want, they will shut off your chip, because CBDCs is the chip that will be inserted in your hand or in your head. You even have the individual that said that. It's one of, if you keep up with my videos, I posted that he used to be a part of this whole agenda. Then he came out and said it, that CBDCs, nobody knows what it looks like, but what it looks like is a digital device that comes in form of a chip that will be inserted in your hand or in your head. That's exactly what it is. And this lady told on herself. She said there will be an aspect of control to it, and we have to take her word for it. You better take her word for it. This is the book of Job, the 15th chapter, and the 6th verse. It says, your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. And what is that? Well, just like the lady was going into telling you, there's going to be a level of control to this digital money, to this CBDCs, this digital currency they're looking to impose on the whole planet, right? That is a cashless society that will lead us to 15-minute cities. Now you will be, if you go beyond your 15-minute zone, district, whatever you want to call it, they showed you that in Hunger Games. People were quarantined off or just put in these sections of districts. You can't go beyond your section, because if you go beyond your section, you can't even spend your money beyond that section, because you're supposed to only spend your money within your 15-minute zones. It's gonna get crazy. The plans they have, if they should complete this plan, fully complete the agenda, guess what? We will all be in trouble. Read that again. Your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. Before we go any further, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all you brothers and sisters out there that of the household of faith, beginning with 144,000 mighty men of the house of Israel, down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days, who are of the elect, and to the brothers that are pushing this gospel in all sincerity and in all honesty, to you all that say shalom, right? So the times we're living in is where the wicked elites that run the whole show are looking to clamp down on the whole planet by means of having you bow down to the altar of globalists, the wicked elites that run the whole show. And how are they looking to do that? Well, the way they're looking to do that is to take everything digital, where they can control every aspect of your life, what you buy, what you sell, how you move on the internet, which will tie into your digital identity. They need you to have that digital identity. They have the EID, they have the something ID that they're looking to start by May 5th, right? Damn, I forgot what it is. Some ID they're looking to. Damn, I forgot how the real ID. Yeah, real ID, right? The real ID they're looking to do by the 5th of May, right? So all of this is all tied in together. And a lot of people always try to make an excuse for all this agenda. Be like, oh, we've already been in real ID. We've already had real ID, but not like they're about to really do it now. Because because you still have liberty. You can still go and buy things. You can still go and do whatever you want to do. Well, this real ID, you can't just come online and say anything. You will be shut off. Now they know who you are. There's no more, it can be anonymous, so to speak. And they use the hate speech thing, hate speech, and nobody don't have to worry about hate and all that other madness, right? But who is going to control what they do, right? By the day, I mean the 1%ers, the globalists, they are really the threat, right? Like Trump said, the homegrown terrorists. Who do you think that is? That is you. You are the homegrown terrorist. Right? So when you hear them talking about we have to have this control because of quote unquote terrorist, that is you. You might say, I'm not doing anything. Well, even if you disagree with the government in any way, shape, or form, you become a terrorist. That's what it is. That's what it all boils down to. There's only going to be one narrative, and you have to abide by those narratives, right? This is the total control. That's why I had to bring up a lot of the speech, and you cannot be ignorant. Bring us here in 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter and 11th verse. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. That is that evil schemes, the CBDCs, the universal basic income, the 15-minute cities, the digital IDs, right? All these schemes that they are plotting, that they've been plotting for the longest. Real IDs, all this is evil schemes to get you in a quagmire, put you in a bind, to have you to a point where you just have to go along and get along, right? Where your freedom of speech will be out the window. You can't criticize anything the government do. See what I'm saying? That is where they're taking it. That's where we are right now. So you have to be familiar with these evil schemes. You have to be familiar with it because it is about to go down. It's about to happen in our lifetime. We're about to see all this stuff going down, right? These individuals, their plans for you is nothing nice, and you need to know about this. Really do. Here it says, a central bank digital currency is the ultimate tool of control. Australian broadcaster Corey Bernardi explains why every last vestige of human freedom depends on mass global resistance to CBDCs. Government could theoretically limit your ability to spend your money in any way they want to, because it is programmable money. It is digital money. It's not something that you have on you. I mean, it's bad enough we got to spend fiat currencies, paper money. Now they're taking it a step further, which is digital money. See? So you get a speeding fine. They can take the cash directly from your account, right? If they can start finding people for the stuff you say online, right? You can tweet something online, post something on any social media platform. They can find you for that. Not only are they going to find you, just take the money from your account. You come up, you go to check your account, you have no money in there because they find you for something you said. And they can choose whatever amount they want, right? Says they can take the cash directly from your account. What if you go to a meeting for the wrong political cause? You could have all your money frozen, for example. And it happened, they showed that a little bit with the protesters, the farmers. They were protesting in Australia, Canada. You know, they had the account. They woke up one morning, the accounts have already been frozen. You had the prime minister, whoever it was, talking about how if your trucks are found in this protest, guess what? Your accounts will be frozen. And they actually went through with it. You see? So imagine when it's all fully digital. When it's all fully digital. It says maybe you put something on social media that is deemed unacceptable. Well, it could be more than just your Facebook account that's stopped, right? It will stop everything. They will stop you from traveling. They will stop you from buying a car if you want to buy a car. They'll stop you from getting loans to buy a house, to purchase anything you want to purchase. Why? Because you've been deemed a threat. You've been deemed a T-word, a terrorist, right? This is where it is going. This is where it's going. And it goes on to say, host of the world's most popular podcast, Joe Rogan, is now wide awake to the grave dangers posed to our freedoms by CBDCs and the social credit systems that they facilitate. If you get a bad social credit score because you tweeted something, that they didn't like. Now you can't buy a plane ticket. Now you can't buy a car. Now you can't get a loan, right? Now you get the idea. This is where it's all going. This is where it's all going. And you have to understand this. That's why it says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. Right? So when you hear you own nothing and be happy, these are all the roads that lead to you owning nothing and be happy. Why will you be happy? Because if you show that you are not happy, guess what? You will be shut down. You won't be able to purchase anything. So you have to pretend you're happy. It's not like you're really happy, but you have to pretend you are happy. Even though you don't have a home, you don't have anything, to your name, not a dollar to your name. You have to wait for your universal basic income allocations, monthly allowance, right? Through the UBIs. You have to wait for that. And if you haven't been a good citizen, probably in a month you won't get it. And until you prove you become a good citizen again, then they can start giving you a little something. That's where we are. And these are, like it says here in Psalms 94th chapter, the 20th verse, it says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law? It's exactly what it is. This whole idea behind digital identity and CBDCs and 15-minute cities and all these laws and policies they're trying to put in place is nothing but mischief. It's mischievous in nature. And if you look up that word mischief real quick, just look it up. Mischief. There it is.
Strong's H 5999. Amal.
There you have it. It says labor, misery, travail, trouble, sorrow, right? So this grievance, this is what this law is going to cause you. To be in misery, in travail, in trouble, in sorrow, in grievance. And you bust your ass, keep laboring just so you can get a little bit of crumbs. Grievousness, iniquity, miserable. It will make you miserable and you will feel the pain. Trump said to make America great again, you're going to feel the pain first. He said it. You're going to feel the pain. Right? There's that pain that is coming with all these laws they're trying to put in place. The tariffs that are imposing on all these nations, because America is a consumer-based nation, right? So for you to get your stuff, you have to pay more money to get it. And if they go through with the CBDCs, guess what? You can't complain, because if you complain, you won't get your monthly allowance. It says painful, perverseness, toil, wearisome, wickedness. And there you have it. Toil, trouble, labor, mischief. You get the idea. So this is going to be grievous. Once they get all this on and popping, it will be grievous. It says, shall the throne of iniquity? Who is the throne of iniquity? Well, the wicked elites, Edomites, that carry out all these laws, right? The ones really in charge, the globalist leaders that run the whole show, the powers that shouldn't be. See, then wearing that suit and tie and telling you what and what you shouldn't be doing, right? These are the throne of iniquity. And they are all Edomites. They wicked devils that run this planet we live on. It says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? Who is the thee? Well, the God of the Bible. That is a question that was being asked to the God of the Bible. Why is this question being asked? Well, which frameth mischief by a law. So we know that the God of the Bible, he doesn't like this kind of practice. So when they tell you in God we trust, believe them not. They don't mean the God of the Bible. They don't believe him. If they do believe him, there's no way they would frame him mischief by a law. It says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous. That's what they do. Once they put these laws in place, That is them gathering together against the soul of the righteous to ultimately get you to take the MOTB, the mark of the beast. And once you take that mark of the beast, guess what? And condemn the innocent blood, you will be condemned. There is a heavy judgment that comes with you accepting the mark of the beast. You will be totally judged, man. You see, it says, but the Lord is my defense, and my God is the rock of my refuge. And he shall bring upon them their own iniquity, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Talking about the wicked elites that put all these things together. This, like we read here, evil schemes. Put all these evil schemes together. See? It says, and shall cut them off in their own wickedness. Yea, the Lord our God shall cut them off. This is what we pray for every day. For the wicked to cease from being wicked. Right? Which brings us here real quick. Let's close out with this, because that perfectly describes the times we're living in. Proverbs, the 29th chapter, in the second verse, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear a rule, the people mourn. That's all you see, the people mourning on TikTok, and all throughout social media. People are complaining. The cost of living is too expensive. Things are getting so bad. Why? Because the wicked are ruling. So we pray every day for them to be cut off, like we read in the book of Psalms. When they're cut off, so the righteous can be in authority, guess what? The people will rejoice. Until that happens, we just have to tough it out. Have a stoic mindset, because they will push it to the limits. You got to keep your integrity and have the Lord as your defense. With that, all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.